shows that when we have a more optimistic attitude, we actually can solve more problems, we can have more insight, and we can figure things out more creatively. When we have a more negative outlook, oh, this will never change, this is terrible, I'm never going to be able to do this. It's actually true, because in that frame of mind, you won't be able to find a good solution. So as a leader, we need to maintain and help ourselves have an atmosphere that helps elevate that chance of insight and possibilities, and we need to create that for the people that are following us. And ultimately, we want to be turned on like this all the time, so that we're revelating and we're having insights and we can see things fresh.
Okay, so we're going to move on to liberating, and I'd like you to tell me what these three things have in common. Not things, people. People and things. Yeah. So what do they have in common? Huh? What?
Dedication?
Well, that's true. That elephant has to be dedicated to the elephant. It wasn't what I was looking for, but I like it. What else do they have in common? Yeah. He's about to be liberated from his physical existence. What? They made impossible things possible. They stepped out of what was to be. Mother Teresa actually went against the entire Catholic Church and started a new order. I don't think we need to talk about Gandhiji a whole lot. This elephant has obviously stepped way out on a limb. They do brand new things that were unthinkable. That once you have this revelating, the baby neurons get going together. They must continue the behavior. You must move it into a behavior. It's breaking free. It's risking. It's audacious. Doing something you would not have done before. Let's just go right to the Google slide. Okay, good. So Google gives 20% of its employees' time, 20% of the employees' time is dedicated to doing creative things that move them. It lets them tap their yearning. And 50% of Google's new products come from that 20% of the employees' investment. And then Atlassian is a software company in Australia, and they have what they call FedEx days and exercises. I think some of you may use these in your management courses. What they do is they let their engineers have time to do whatever they want. But within 24 hours, they have to deliver, like FedEx, within 24 hours, we'll get it to anywhere in the world, they have to deliver something that is a contribution to the company. They have just untold new programs that they get and problem solve in the company by simply freeing people. They don't say you have to fix this problem. They say go do something meaningful. Give us a deliverable in 24 hours. And so that they are very heavy into helping their people liberate. And this would be worth just tons of case studies we're not going to do.
They too have had just an amazing amount of IT solutions and things that have come from that 24-hour period of doing whatever it is they want to work on. So let me look a little bit more on the neuroscience and the science of liberating. And liberating means that you're acting on that new awareness. You're doing something different. You're not just sitting there understanding it. You're trying something different. You're doing a new behavior. You're willing to be like an elephant and go out on a limb. So the neuroscience behind this is that you, again, we talked about this before, the engaging, you have to be able to do new things in order to learn. If we do the same things over and over again, we actually do not get better at them. How many of you here play a musical instrument? Can you do that? I picked up guitar to learn to play guitar, and I thought I was practicing and getting better. I wasn't getting better because I just played the same 6 chords over and over and over again, and I never got any better, and I couldn't figure it out because I kept spending time doing it. And what they find is you actually it has to get harder and harder in order for you to learn something. You have to stretch, you have to do something new and different in order to learn. And that's a big part of liberating is actually, and also what it shows too is that the studies show that having just work experience is not a good indicator of who would be a good employee. That actually what the studies show, because work experience, you could just be doing the same thing over and over again for 10 or 20 years, but you haven't really liberated, you haven't learned and grown and become something different. You're not really developing yourself. It's a very important thing for us to know. And to also understand the neuroscience of it is, our brain loves novelty. It loves new things. You can see what goes on in the MRI when you get new stimuli, a new problem to solve, a new skill that you're working on. It's just lit up. And that's what we need to understand, that our brains are designed to learn and grow and do new things. And also, the most important thing maybe for us to look at is on Carol Dweck's work that has to do with the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. Have you heard of Carol Dweck's work? Let me give you a little bit with this, because I think it's really helpful. Because what happens, what they found, is that what's really important in terms of learning and growing, liberating, doing new things, getting better at things, becoming masterful, more productive, more happy, more satisfied, demands a growth mindset. There's many studies on this now, as opposed to a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is, I'm just the way I am. Even if you do something good, if you just even decide, I'm smart, actually that can sometimes be a problem, because people that just value themselves for their intelligence oftentimes are not willing to take risks because they don't want to look stupid. And it actually keeps them from learning, and keeps them from growing, and keeps them from being more creative in a workplace. So a growth mindset is a person who embraces challenges. A fixed mindset avoids challenges. A growth mindset is someone who persists instead of gives up early. Someone who seeks and learns from feedback rather than ignoring useful feedback. Their growth mindset, you're inspired by other people's success and you want to be like them, as opposed to feeling threatened by other people's success. They have a greater sense of self-will, as opposed to thinking that things are just the way they are, a deterministic view. And they always have ever higher levels of achievement, versus those who plateau early. They do well, but then they just pop off, and they don't fully achieve their potential. And what they found, even with children, that it's best to reward children rather than saying, oh, you're so smart, or you're so good. It's